Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. So many of us going through so many different things right now, whether it's your personal relationship, whether you're trying to get past something, maybe it's recovering from something. And here to help us with all of that, and it's an interesting twist when we tell you about the horse angle connected to it, is Kathy Slagter, and she's with one neigh at a time. Kathy, welcome back. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
One of these days, you got to be broadcasting from the barn. We got to change this up.
No, I thought about that. I'm afraid my internet won't be good enough and stay connected. It's a little bit away from the home. So
okay.
I've definitely thought about that. I thought it'd be cool to have a horse in the background instead of just my little tiny thing, but
sure. Well, there's an alternative to that. Just bring one of the horses into the house.
Into the house. Yes. Someday I'll maybe work on that too.
Yeah. And the reason we're talking about horses is with what you do, helping people recover from trauma, addiction. You use horses. It's just amazing how a horse can help heal. And when I first heard about this, a bunch of podcasts back, it was sort of on my radar because I know that horses are used for people with mental and physical challenges, and I know it's very, very therapeutic and very effective, but adding it to what you do, and you are somebody that's been sober for 10 years. You just passed your 10-year mark last month. So you get it, you understand it. And then the horses came into play, which is amazing.
Yeah. The horses have been a really magical part of my recovery, not just, they're not just a little bit of it. They've been a huge part since my beginning of, stepping into this sober journey that I'm on right now. So, I remember when I got out of the rehab. I can even go back a little further, when setting myself up for success, but I didn't even really realize that I was doing that to myself when I was in it. So one of the things in the rehab that I was in was sound therapy and meditation therapy. So as I was before, I never really did any meditation. I never really thought about how my body was feeling, and to feel energy flowing through your body was something completely new to me. I thought it was kind of really odd. And, this was 10 years ago. So for me, Zen and all that kind of stuff it was kind of out there for me. So the very first few times that I sat in a sound therapy, or, somebody was soft music and talking about feeling from the top of your head to your bottom of your toes, and do you feel your toes? And I'm like, oh my God, this is so weird. By the end, that was my favorite part of the whole program. I couldn't wait until, I was there for a month. So it wasn't a quick little week thing, but that was my favorite part. And I hated leaving it. And it's like, how can I get this when I get out? And I didn't know. I didn't even know where to start at that point. So, I never knew that the energy, I'm realizing that the energy of a horse is so much like the energy of a human, how it flows through them, except for they can take our stuck energy and take it out and throw it into the universe, which is something I think we all have the power to do if we're feeling really stuck or scared, or, we're in our head too much or something. We can meditate and get our energy flowing better too. I don't know if you've ever done that yourself. Have you?
I'm not good at it, but I have found, and I've tried to meditate, and I'm almost embarrassed to say that it's hard for me to get into that zone. But there have been even moments in the last week or so where I've just stopped for a second and listened and focused on what was in my mind, and just it stops you dead, and it's a great feeling. And to your point with the music, have you ever done, or was this part of your therapy, the bowls? The chakra bowls? Did anybody?
Yes, I've actually had the chakra bowls there, but I've had them in my barn a few times with the horses present.
Yep.
And I would walk the horses around. I had people helping me, people sitting and listening. And the horses just stood and enjoyed it. And, they would go up to somebody if, maybe they're in tears or they're in their heart, and the horses just recognize that, and they would stand with them. And how powerful it is to have the energy of this music vibrating through your body and to have the horses there. So it is another one of my, favorite things to do here at the ranch. So yes, I love it. I love it. I've attempted to do it myself a little bit, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I won't learn, because I want to always continue learning.
I experienced the bowls for the first time about 2 weeks ago, and I was at a meditation event. It was a cacao, so they use pure chocolate at this event, and the chocolate is from Costa Rica. It's supposed to just give you a euphoric feel after you drink it. Then you do a meditation, but they did the bowls, and I've heard about the bowls before, and I'm like, yeah, all right, what's a big deal? Come on, until you hear it and you're in the room. And apparently the bowls pick up on the energy of everybody around the room, which I thought was, more bunk.
Right.
It gets inside of you. I can't,
Right.
it was like, and they didn't do all the bowls. They just did one. And as soon as they started playing, it was like, oh, wait a minute. It's resonating.
Now.
Yes,
Yeah.
at a certain frequency. And it was such a calming feel. And that's, a bowl. Now let's put a horse into the mix. And what a difference that is.
I kind of wonder if that's what the horses feel from us, is what we felt from the bowls, vibrating through our bodies.
Yep.
If maybe the horse's vibration of what's inside of us is that deep. I notice when I go out to my horses, and it's shedding season right now, and they go up and they sniff each other and find a spot that must have a little bit more energy than the other. And they start like scratching. So horses scratch with their mouth. So they bite on them, not hard, but they just scratch. And, they do that to each other. It's so, it's powerful to watch them when they just go up and sniff. Where's the spot? Oh, there it is. And they'll start scratching on it. And the other horse will be the opposite direction, usually their nose to butt. And, they'll find a spot on the other horse, and they'll both be sitting there scratching and helping to relieve a source of energy that's on us, that they're just magical creatures when I am able to watch them. And
yeah. And, it is about energy, and I'm learning that more and more every single day. And we all have energy. Energy can be transferred, from electronic means to somebody else. But when you think about that and the whole energy situation, we have all these things in our way. There's things that, we're thinking about, we got going on, and that's blocking whatever's going on. Horse doesn't have to worry about mortgage payments and people and all of that. Right. And that being said, they can transfer, they can pick up on that energy. It's such a different situation, right?
Yeah. And the powerful part about my program is that if you were here with me and you went into the round pen with a horse, the horse will stop that like, I gotta think motion that you go through. They release, they soften up your energy. Let's say that they soften up your energy so that you can relax, and the big things will come up, and that you can talk about them and look at them. And, that's one of the things that they do. And that's why they're powerful in the healing aspect of it, along with, their own magical part of it, period. But, so many times in our lives, we don't always set ourselves up for success. So a horse might give you that little extra inch of, this is going to be helpful for you because we got this added bonus, with when you step into arena with my horses and I. Talking about setting up for success, I just went through a Tony Robbins weekend. It was online. I didn't have to go, but oh my gosh, he's such an energetic he maniac, really, kind of, and what he was talking about and what I kind of connect with right now today is how we don't set ourselves up for success. For instance, I've had this little stallion. A lot of people think of stallions as these big, huge things, but my little guy is a gypsy, but he's a mini and he's small. But he's recently, the mares are starting to go into heat. So he's starting to react to that. And he's to me being naughty, so he's rearing up and he's dancing and snorting, all the things that stallions do. And, my job is to make sure that I'm safe, A, and B, he's safe too, of course, but, that he doesn't get away from me and that the mares are safe and that, everybody's safe. And I was getting really mad at him because of how unsafe I felt when I was taking him in and out of the pasture. And I figured out yesterday that I have him in front of mares where he's only 5 years old. So he's not really sure what to do with himself when he's in front of mares. I haven't taught him that lesson of what to do. And I'm asking him to be a gentleman when he hasn't even been taught how to be a gentleman yet. And he's in a stall that is across the hall from another mare. So I'm asking him to walk in and be good, and he doesn't know how to be good yet. I'm asking him to be in a stall and he can smell the mare next to him. So he doesn't know what to do with his body yet. So I kind of figured out what I'm setting him up to fail. I'm setting myself up to fail and I'm setting him up to fail. So yesterday I moved him in the barn and I took him out a different way. And, he was such a different horse. And, how we do that to ourselves. We set ourselves up for failure so many times because sometimes looking at the hurt, looking at what we need to change is scary. It's scary. So we ignore it. We continue doing what we know instead of trying to change it up. And, sometimes we take the pain that we're going through and, I might get mad at you if you came in the door and I'm not even mad at you. I'm mad at me, but I don't want to look at me. I don't want to process the me. That's where the gestalt part of what I do comes in too, is let's pretend that you take out the pain and you put it in your hand and you say, what is this pain? Where did it generate? Where did it begin? Where did it start? And sometimes your pain, might have come from years ago. And, for me drinking, there's a good chance that me mad at you is because I'm mad at me about something that I did in my past. And it's not fair to the other humans that we're in relationships with to not look at our stuff. The only way to get through our stuff is to actually go through it. We can't skip over it. We can't jump over it. If you look in front of you and you imagine a mountain, it's going to be really hard to, it's hard to get over. It's going to take some work and we have to do the work ourselves. But if you look down and you see, and you're looking down at the mountain, it seems a lot smaller.
Yeah.
So,
it's a challenging process because you want to avoid what's in front of you, the mountain.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the mountain is you. You just
right. And that a molehill can look like and feel like a mountain. So maybe a mountain is really a molehill. Because if you can spend 90 minutes with me and we look at your mountain, by the time you leave my arena, it could be a molehill, or it could be, you put it into the arena floor and you stepped on it. And that's what I might ask you to do, is step on it and twist on it and pound it in there and say, I don't want you anymore. You are not a part of my life. Get out of here. You're not going to help direct my life anymore. I'm not going to be mad at everybody because, you pain, are gone. And, that's powerful to walk out of the arena and know that it's flowing in the air out there. And, you don't have to get mad I'm not going to get mad at you again when you walk in the door late, because I've dealt with it. I've looked at the fact that I was late and never showed up. I'm just throwing something out there. I was late and never showed up for people because I was drunk. It could be as simple as that, but yet your relationship is stuck in this spot where, you can't, every time you walk in late, you're pissed at him. And, like I said, it could be as easy as you're mad at yourself.
And might be mad at yourself because of what you just said, but also the collateral damage of what you did to other people. So
Right.
now that's weighing on top of you as well. I know I hurt you because I had issues. Now I got to deal with my issues, and I got to deal with your hurt because you're
Yeah.
looking at me a certain way. We all have challenges. Some of them are bigger than others, but I always try to, I don't know, maybe it's the wrong way to do it, but I just call them speed bumps. I try not to call them mountains. Yeah. They're freaking
Yeah.
That's what I should say.
But as you're going on those speed bumps, it's good that you can just say, oh, I just went by one, but there's going to be another speed bump if you don't handle that one speed bump. And, not every speed bump is a big deal, but, you could have multiple speed bumps because of a small thing.
Absolutely.
It's amazing what you can find out when you start looking back at, your beliefs of, we call them limiting beliefs, and I'm sure you know what they are, but they're beliefs that somebody else or we told ourselves. I was talking to somebody and she said, my son is clumsy. He hurts himself a lot and he's clumsy. And I thought, oh, there's a limiting belief that child's going to grow up with all his life, is he's going to say, I'm clumsy, like the whole, I am not enough. How many times do people, and I did, say to myself, I'm not enough. And I let that run a lot of my life, and that's not fair to me. And it's not fair to the people that I care about and love, because that means that I'm not giving all that I have.
It's so true. Yeah. It's, we have a great question here. Instant feedback from Beth M in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. She says, I love that you use horses to heal people. Do you have to train them to do that?
Great question. I don't. I really don't. I could walk into any barn, but what I like to do is ask them, or, you might walk out to the pasture and I might throw that energy that I'm looking for a healer, and somebody might come up to me, or I can walk around them. And if they don't pay attention to me, maybe they're not in the right zone neither. So, I kind of learned to understand my horses. To walk into somebody else's pasture is a little bit more different, because I know the personalities of my horses, and I know when they're, when they maybe are in the mood and when they're in, in their own mood. I don't know. So no, I don't train them. They choose to heal. It's a part of who they are.
Wow.
And, are they always in their zone? No. Do I ask them sometimes to maybe be in their zone, because maybe you only have two horses and you don't have a choice sometimes. And, and they might not be, I've had people say, why did the horse not come up to me? It could be two things. It could be one, you never really got into your heart. You were always in your head, and the horses don't understand thinking energy at all. They just understand when your heart and your head connect together. Or maybe they weren't in a good zone and they just decided that, they're just going to sit over here and stand and stare outside. I don't know. So
just having a bad day. Everybody's in
they're allowed to have bad days too. But luckily there was still me and you in the round pen, and, and even if the horse turned it up a little bit every once in a while and turned it back down, they're still giving you something. And it could be that they're ignoring you for a reason, because you aren't. You're thinking, you're overthinking, and they're trying to tell you, get out of your head.
It's amazing how instinctually they do that. And it's the same thing. Let's say if you went to go see a psychic and you're expecting a reading from the psychic, but you're not open, or you just want the psychic to, whether you believe in it or not, you want them to connect with somebody who passed on. You're not, it's just not working today, but they can bring this other person back. But no, you want to hear from that one. It is
Right.
what it is. You can't, sometimes you can't plan those things, but I totally get what you're saying about the energy. You know, if you got some bad energy going on, and that's what makes this all so amazing, that the horse can pick up on it for a reason.
Right.
That's why you use them to heal.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's why they're so powerful. As I said before, they can show me things that are going on inside our bodies or my clients' bodies that I don't even notice. And, I remember one time even standing out in the pasture, I had a couple come with me, and she was telling me about what all her body has been through in surgery and cancer, and she had her ovaries out and all these kind of things. And she was also an alcoholic, so that was part of why she found me. But everything that her body's been through, her liver and just multiple things. And one of my big, beautiful gypsies, I have gypsy banners on my property. I breed them here too. She would move around this woman to like if she was talking about her liver, the horse was belly to belly with her. When she started talking about a tumor in her head, the horse had her head right next to her head. When she started talking about, something, let's just say how she felt so like she was going to die and be her stable life, her security was being, looked at differently. She was afraid. The horse would stand. Our security is in the bottom part of our bodies, and it went to the back part of her. The horse was standing, butt to her, kind of, and I watched the horse go around her. She had no idea what the horse was doing, but every time she put the energy into what she was talking about, her energy went to her heart, her energy went to her stomach, and so did the horse. And she said, gosh, I haven't felt this wonderful in so long. She texted me that night and said, I can't believe how great I feel. I haven't felt, this vibrant in ages. And,
Wow.
not only did the talking get that out of her, and she was able to, she had somebody that listened to her, which is my job, but the horse did too. And the horse did their healing on her. And, she was able to feel better and to know what it felt like again, to feel vibrant. And, some of us don't even go there in a day. What does vibrancy, vibrant? I'm vibrant today. I'm still stuck in sadness. I don't even know what vibrancy looks like or feels like. What a great word. I'm vibrant today.
Yeah. Or joy. There's another one.
Yeah. Joy, fun, all those words. It's like, gosh, when was the last time you had fun? Sometimes as a recovering alcoholic, the only thing that I could put fun in was being drunk. To even think about having fun without a glass in my hand, alcohol roaming through my body, through all my blood, I was lost. I've said before that I was afraid to even laugh too much because people would think I was drunk. So I have to like pull in that sadness almost. Let's pull in that, don't get too happy. Don't get too excited. Don't get too, don't flag your hands everywhere because, somebody might think I'm drinking again.
When you think about that, Kathy, as you're saying it, I'm visualizing it. How much work was that to put on that facade, to ride the rail, because you were drunk back then and you don't want to be too much here, too much there. You want to appear not to be drunk and you can't even be yourself, so to speak. Let's say you were having a great day, whether it was because of the alcohol or not, just something, something great. Can't overreact. Got to keep it in the zone right here. It's a lot of work. A lot of work.
Oh my gosh. Being drunk and wanting to be sober was it was a lot of work. I never thought it was until afterwards. I hid bottles. I had to make sure that I only drank so much. Make sure I have a quarter of a thing of vodka for the morning, so that when I'm shaking, I can get that down enough so that I can go to the store before 11 o'clock. I got to make sure that I have everything done before I get really drunk at nighttime. And oh God, please don't have anybody call me and be sick so that I have to, tell them that I can't come, that I've had too much. But, in the nighttime, maybe it's okay. But in the morning, that's, gosh, if I have to tell somebody that I'm drunk already at 11 o'clock, that's, I can't do that. How do I, it just
the plan alone, like planning ahead. I got to pick up my kids at 2 o'clock, but I got to back time that to make sure,
right. I got to make sure it's 2 hours that I haven't had a drink in too long. But
right.
if I don't drink and it's been too long, then I'll start shaking again, and my family will know. So I better take a little. I mean,
wait a minute.
It was so much work.
Do I have mints? Do I have gum?
Yes.
All of those.
Always.
Yeah.
I said before that when I went to bedtime, I had a glass of water. This looks like water, and it is water today, but it was vodka in my other days. And I would just like, please, kids, don't sip it. Don't sip it. I didn't tell them not to, but I did everything I could to make sure my kids didn't know that I was drinking this full glass of iced vodka.
Wow.
I'm exhausted thinking about it again.
I am too. Because
I need to go out by my horses and get unexhausted.
I tell other people you're an overthinker, even though I think a lot. So I'm thinking about you then, and if that were me, all the things that I would have to think of, and all, listen, long story short, I had some body damage on my car. I had to empty the car and get a rental car and plan the steps for that, get picked up over here. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
That's this. And that was a lot of work. You can't imagine managing your life for a decade or way more than that.
Oh, yeah. I started at 16 and didn't get sober till I was 50. But the last 3 to 5 years were the worst for me.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
3 to 5 years. That's a long time. It's managing how much vodka you have in a bottle.
Yep. And putting the facade on for everybody else. Yeah.
For sure. And gosh, to be present, I never knew what it felt like to be, completely present in my body. I've said before too, and I love this example of what I feel is like there's another person that I used to be in the arena. One time I had this big, huge ball, and it's like, that's like me, that rubber piece of, blown up air was who I was. And now I'm this. Now I can feel and go through the emotions. Was every emotion fun? Absolutely not. I started back as a teenager trying to, remember being a teenager and being hurt because, a boyfriend cheated on you or looked at you wrong or whatever it was, or a girlfriend wrote you a nasty note. I had to go through all those emotions and learn how to deal with them. And oh gosh, if I had a sober coach or a recovery coach or a horse back then,
Seriously. Yeah.
And I do now, I love being able to help people go through those emotions and to get to the other side of drunk, to recovery, joyful recovery, not just sober. A lot of people are just sober. Let's be in recovery, joyful, vibrant. I'm in that word today. Let's be vibrant in our life.
Enjoy.
Shine.
Well, that's a testament to what you do, because you've been through it in a big way. You've experienced it. You've experienced all different aspects, all different sides to get to the other side. And part of the other side is in the pen with the horses. Tell everybody your website and how they can reach out to you.
Okay, I'm great too. I'd love to. Sorry. Great. Kathy, my email is Kathy with a K, Kathy at oneneighatatime.com. And my website is www.oneneigh, Neigh, like a horse, oneneighatatime.com. So go on there. There's a place to put your email in there. There's a place to contact me right away. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Find One Neigh at a Time and connect with me. I'd love it. Love to chit and chat with you for, to start the conversation. Let's start the conversation going.
I love the fact that you're accessible too. You're there to help people and you're there. I mean, if they want to reach out to you.
First half an hour is my gift. Let's talk about let's talk about where you want to go.
We need a social media app for horses.
Yes.
Yes. Why not?
Right. Let them talk to you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great idea.
We always say this at the end too. Let it go. That's kind of your mantra. And if you go to the website,
let it go. And it's, like I said before, it's sometimes not as easy as just saying the words, but let my horses and I help you let it go.
Yep. There is somebody there who cares, and that's Kathy. Thank you so much, and look forward to getting together with you soon. Here's to the warmer weather and getting out there and having fun with your horses.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you.
We'll catch up next time.
Bye-bye.
And we'll be right back.
Have you ever wondered how a horse could help you in your recovery? Well, my name is Kathy Slagter, and I'm an equine master gestaltist. And what I do is help you find your passion and purpose in your recovery. My website is www.oneneigh@a-time.com. And you may also contact me through email at Kathy with a K, ATHY @oneneigh@a-time.com. Can't wait to hear from you, and I'll see you in the barn.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.